Hello all, it's Kristen from my garden here in beautiful Los Angeles near Venice Beach today. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far, and I'm very happy that you're here. Welcome to this reading, reflection, meditation, conversation with the plants and flowers. Of course, amongst the plants and flowers. So welcome, and we'll get started. These cards, I made them from the plants and flower essences that I have in my own apothecary that I created. This is very much a sampling of how I work with clients and how I make personal plant and flower essence elixirs and combinations for my clients. So let's get started. We're gonna find out what's the theme, what just is the general theme of what wants to be said today. What do the plants and the flowers, what are the givers want to give to us? All they ask is that we ask. They are so chomping at the bit to be here for us, to guide us, to validate us, to support us. But we have to ask. And so with a deep breath and another deep breath, we ask. We ask for their help and creating this moment in honor of you as a self-care ritual. All right, major theme, here we go. Okay, so Piñón Blanco. Piñón Blanco, I always choose one of my master plant teacher essences to start off first. And Piñón Blanco is a plant in South America. It's beautiful, it's light. It's calling in your light, it's bringing in the light. To bring in the light, though, can often mean bringing in light into all the places of ourselves and all the inner workings of our lives, including where there's no light. So what needs to be shined a light on? This plant will often shine a light on what's been kept in the dark. So what needs healing light? What needs recognition? What needs illumination? Absolutely. But what simply needs to be seen? What perhaps may have been repressed? What has not been in your consciousness for a long time? What do you need to acknowledge within yourself? You know, shadow work is this big word, right? And I think it's just a lot of shadow work is just being able to really sit with yourself in the middle of transformation. Often that can feel challenging and difficult. A lot of times we do work for our own personal healing, our own personal development. We're seeking and we initiate, activate what we want to manifest. And then along the way, in order to get where we're going, what we want, sometimes things are revealed about our lives and about ourselves that are like, ugh, you know what I mean? You know, I have to work on that. Or, oh, I thought I had worked on that, but now here's this whole other layer has been peeled away and I'm seeing it from a new perspective. This could also be about another person in your life. But I think ultimately it always comes down to us, because even if this thing is being revealed about someone else, it's ultimately revealing something about ourselves, about what we want and what we don't want, what we're clear on, what we're not clear on. How we've changed, how what we could have wanted at one point is simply not what we want anymore, regardless of how comfortable it might feel. Working in shadow can feel uncomfortable. And to be able to navigate and sit with yourself and be in stillness and to really surrender and not resist is going to be a better experience. When I personally resist a lot of stuff, when stuff is coming up and you don't want to feel it, so it's just like repress it back down or distract with some other work or find some way to disassociate. And it could work, but then it's just going to come back around and it's going to keep coming back around our entire life until you address it. Maybe it's time to take the time for yourself. And knowing that this light, this illumination, this healing light, this your light, your personal medicine, the light within you is there to guide you. You've got it within yourself as that resource. Let's ask the trees. How can we stay rooted during this? How can we feel connected to the ground, to the earth? We are grounded, right? Avocado tree. This is really interesting. This is one of my newer essences and I'm still working with it. But it's fertile ground. What is within you that's already nurtured? What resources do you have within yourself to nurture yourself through this? What can you pull? What energetic lines of support? Sometimes it's knowing I've got to make a phone call, or I don't want to call this person and ask for this because it's embarrassing, or I don't want to seem like a bother, but you really just need to connect. And 5 minutes of a connection with someone is going to make the huge difference for the rest of the day. Or maybe I really just need to lie down right now, or I'm at my desk, but I've really just got to put my feet on the ground, and I have to put my back on my chair, and I need to take 3 deep breaths, and the rest of it will get done. And it will get done even more efficiently if you give that to yourself. With avocado, there's an element of also identity crisis, because the history of avocados, it's been an aphrodisiac. I think it was called alligator fruit because of its skin. It's gone through this history of being fattening in the 80s. It's really interesting if you look at the history of avocado, whether it be commercially or agriculturally. And so when I was experiencing it and working with it myself, this whole idea of who am I now? Who am I now? And often sometimes we can feel a little bit unrecognizable to ourselves. All of a sudden we realize that we've changed at the person that you were, which can be a really great thing, but can also be really overwhelming and a little bit scary and a little bit out of sorts. We begin to attract different things, and it can be a little unrecognizable, like, wow, I'm attracting a lover that really wants me to talk to them and was interested in hearing about my experiences and my journey, and they want to go on this process with me. I mean, if you've never had that before, it can feel unrecognizable, and it can feel actually very tricky. So, okay, how can we nurture ourselves? It's this moment of pause and to go slow, and the right people will go slow with you. You'll know the dance with yourself as much as with anybody else. Like, I'm doing this thing for me that feels very different, and then I'm going to see how that looks dressed on the people around me. Let's look at more plants and flowers. The jasmine tobacco. So repatterning. And it goes back to the beginning, when you're cutting into your own personal patterns and your own personal routines and how you've constantly always done things and how you've constantly always thought. And a lot of it comes from the evidence and the history as we change and grow and heal and evolve, and things begin to change and look a little bit different. And in that overwhelming place, we can miss the repatterning that you've actually already repatterned yourself in many ways. You just haven't caught up to it yet. So you're catching up to it. You're getting comfortable with it. And the repatterning is in process. It doesn't take 2 seconds. So even to get used to the new, it's a process. And you get to take as long as you want, right? Yeah, this can be repatterning thought, but also when you use pleasurable things as distraction. It can be exercising too much. It can be too much sex. It can be too much alcohol. It could be too much shopping. It could be some combination of all of it where it feels like, I just need a treat. I've made it to the end of the day. I had all this stuff go on, and now I really just want this piece of cake, even though you know it's going to make you feel like crap, and it's going to stick to your body, and then you're going to feel bad about it, and then you're going to over-exercise, or it's just simply the sugar's just simply going to affect your mind in that personal example. But we can fit that with anything, really. You could be watching too much television. I'm a bit addicted to true crime, and I absolutely love it. I love to watch court TV. Comment below if you're a courtie and you like to watch court TV. And I think it's so fascinating, the psychological aspects to it. I'm not into the conspiracy theories. I like the investigations and the FBI's. But it's not really the best thing to watch at night, somebody talking about some murder. I had to recognize that within myself. It's like, put on a comedy if I really need to relax. So it could really be as simple as that. I'm going to journal at night. A friend of mine actually was telling me of how she actually shut the whole television off for a period of time and was picking books. And it kind of changed her life, but it was a little bit uncomfortable. We have to have a little bit of discipline. I'm going to end with the roses. Okay. Ah, Camila. So I have Camila in here. Camila is known as the winter's rose. And I am creating a chakra system, a collection of chakra rose essences for myself to work with, for you all to work with, for my clients to work with. And the high heart, because I went through the chakra system, but I also wanted the heart and the high heart, was Camila, the winter's rose, as it's referred to, and it's reciprocity. So you don't want to stand for any more of these connections where it's one-sided. And I do want to say this, that yes, we're talking about you perhaps giving too much, but there are relationships where it's sometimes, and this is for somebody out there, where the person wants to be constantly the one who, they want to be like your personal coach, or they want to be like your therapist. I mean, you never hired them to be your therapist, so you can't really fire them to be your therapist. I mean, that kind of person. And maybe there's some nice aspects to the relationship and to the friendship, but it just is, it feels like it's not reciprocal because they don't want to take that from you. And I think that that is an important thing to take note of if this applies to you, that it's like someone using you to feel better about themselves in this way. And especially if the person is complaining about lack of reciprocity and then you're trying to give it, but then it's like, well, you're not accepting that I'm this giving person and I want to give to you and you can't receive from me. It's a weird dynamic. Really, really, really wanted to make sure that that was said today. So reciprocity, it needs to feel equal. It needs to feel like, yes, I am comfortable being receiving. I can receive from someone. But also the people in your life that are your friends, that are your lovers, they can receive from you as well. That you're surrounding yourself with people that the balance is explored and it's there. It is this dance, right? Somebody needs you to be there for them a lot. You need someone to be there for you a lot. And so sometimes the balance kind of tips, like the pendulum swings one way, but it always needs to come back to balance, right? So that is it from the plants and the flowers for today. I will see you again very soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am Kristen. I'm so happy that you're here. Please give me a thumbs up. It would mean the world to me. I'm new on YouTube and it would mean the world to have your support. If there's anything you resonated with, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you and I will be back soon. Mwah. Bye.